G'day and welcome to this grand final edition of the COLAC Herald Sports Smash. We're here at the magnificent COLAC Herald TV studio. Doesn't really compare to Central Reserve, but let's get stuck into it. We've got heaps of netball. We've got GFL netball finals for the Colac Tigers, the Colac District Netball and the Colac District Football, which we're going to get stuck into right now with Ben.
Kicking it off with the big stuff, the CDFL Grand Final, where Lawn has returned to the top of the table. They've won their 5th Grand Final in 15 years to just really assert itself as one of the powerhouses of the competition. They defeated the Colac Imperials, who, as we all know, made massive improvement this year to rise from non-finals last year into the top 2 this year. The Dolphins won this one 15-11-101 to 11-6-72 at Central Reserve, so a pretty comfortable win in the end. Louis Heimer kicked 5 goals to win the VCFL Best On Ground medal, while the Dolphins' best players were Rick White, John Leontiades, Luke Norton, Shea Turner, Holmer and Jackson Barham. For Colac Imperials, Tyson Finnegan kicked 3 goals, and their best players were Simon Scott, Andrew Scott, Kyle Roberts, Adrian Murray, Brandon Finn and James Morgan, so some big steps forward there for the Imps. No doubt they could give it a bit of a shake-up next year as well. Into the reserves football now, where a bit of an upset result in the end. Lawn entered this clash as heavy favourite after a pretty dominant season, just the 1 loss for the year. But the upstart Simpson, who snuck into finals, finished 4th, survived do-or-die finals along the way and upset Lawn in this one. They entered the clash into the last quarter, about 5 goals down, I think, and kicked 6 goals to 1 in the final quarter. There's still a 2-point win. Simpson won this one 9-8-62 to 9-6-60. Jeff Van Dyke and the skipper Phil Vines kicked 2 goals for the Tigers, while their best players were Dave Wheel, who won the Best On Ground medal, Andrew Cole and Drew Quarterpell. For Lawn, Harley Davis kicked 3 goals and was among the best players with Lee McElveny, Owen McKay and Gabriel Parsons. Into the under 17.5 football now, where Birregurra has capped off its 3rd perfect season, undefeated for 3 years. It's a hell of a record for the Birregurra Football Club. They won this one by 5 points in the end, 5-10-40 to 5-5-35 against Elvie. For Birregurra, Zach Day kicked 3 goals, Roy Armistead kicked 2 in a best on ground performance, while Zach Stuyvesant, Josh McFarlane and Louis Melican were also good for the Saints. For the Swans, they had multiple goal kickers, and their best player who won the best on ground medal was Tim McKay, while Nick Underwater and Tyler Manning were also good for the Swans. And into the youngest football grade, under 14.5 football, where South Colac has avenged last year's grand final loss. So well done to the Roos. They defeated Colac Imperials in this one 3-6-24 to 3-3-21. So less than a goal separated down to 14s, under 17s and reserves at the weekend. So it just shows how close our competition is. For South Colac, Harry Smith, Ben Vickery and Cody Downard all kicked goals, while their best players were Chase Murray, Harry Smith and the best on ground medalist Jack Foley. While for the Imps, Cooper Stevens kicked 2 goals, Jordan O'Dwyer kicked 1 and their best players were Thomas Carl, Fraser O'Gorman and Cooper Stevens. So well done to the Roos in that one, and we'll cross straight into the netball with Locke.
Yeah, wraps up a big year of footy, and it was a big year of netball as well. Not as many upsets in the netball grand finals we've seen, but there have been some pretty dominant teams, and none more dominant than the Colac Imperials in A grade. They've gone back to back with their A grade premierships. They won 59 to 55 against South Colac. South Colac a worthy challenger, but in the end the Imps just too good on the day. Rebecca Scott had 46 goals. Candy Robbins had 13 goals in a best on court appearance, led from the front, the Imps coach there. Nicole Mitchell scored 29 goals for South Colac and Tegan McNamara had 26. Mitchell was South Colac's best player. Nadine McNamara and Rachel Baker were also among the best for South, while Elise Howard and the recruit Sarah Higgins were in the best for the Imperials. So that wraps up the A grade season. Well done to the Imps, and also well done to the Imps in B grade. They won their grand final also against South Colac 40 to 22. They had a very similar season. The A grade is very dominant, and on grand final day they had that very good 18 goal win. Caitlin Dolan had 28 goals for the Imps. Brittany Tillack had 9. For South Colac, Cassie Carachet had 18 goals. Claire Neal was the best player and won the best on court medal for the grand final for her efforts in defence, alongside Narelle Place and Brittany Tillack in the best, and Katie McDougall, Stacey McNamara and Cassie Carachet were the best for the Roos. Into the C grade decider, Otway Districts have upset Colac Imperials. They didn't have a perfect day. The Imps, the Demons won this one 35-31. It was their first senior netball flag since joining the CDFL back in 2003. Great result there for the Demons. Nadine Oborn, best on court, scored 27 goals. Lani Conn had 8. Bianca McKay had 17 for the Imps. Kira Drahan had 12. And some of the Imps' best players were Jodie Hassett, Kathy Morrissey and Simone Langenhusen. Of course, the C grade best and fairest competition winner. Into the 17s results now. South Colac took on Colac Imperials in the grand final, and the Roos won 28-16. Ellie Harrington had 21 goals for the Roos. Alyssa Whedon had 10 for the Imps. Edwina Parker was South Colac's best player. Of course, played in the A grade grand final for South, so a busy day for her, alongside Janelle Monaghan, who did the same thing. And Colac Imperials' best players were Bianca Whitson, Alyssa Whedon, and Kayla Clark. Lawn won the 15 and under grand final against Otway Districts 40-33, a dominant season for them. They also won the 13 and under netball premiership last year, so a few of those players coming through. Marley Gallagher had 22 goals for Lawn. Ruby Meredith was Lawn's best player. Bianca Morrow scored 23 goals for Otway Districts, and the Demons' best player was Alicia Morrow. Finally, the 13 and under grand final, Illawarra Biak, you can't count them out, they're always good for a flag, and they won one in the 13 and unders against South Colac. 32-25 was the final score at Colac Central Reserve. Jessie Lupino had 19 goals for the Bombers. Lily Smith had 16 for South Colac. Romy Bergman won the best on court medal, and Chloe Brown was South Colac's best players. Now, as we wrap up the grand finals of the CDFL, we get stuck into the Colac Tigers finals results. Now they're into the second week of finals. So these were semi-finals. We had a couple of teams in. I'll go through the Sunday first semi-finals first. These were the elimination finals, of course. In 13 and under Division 1, Colac continued their winning ways. They're into a preliminary final now after a 36-23 win against Leopold. Prue Stewart had 25 goals for the Tigers, and Monica Hammond was the best player there. In the 17 and under Division 1, their season is over. Unfortunately, they lost to South Barwon. South Barwon won 41-33. Courtney Garner had 20 goals, and the best on court for the Tigers was Courtney Garner again. Into C grade, their season is also over. They lost to Leopold. Leopold won 39-36. Courtney Garner played again. She's had 18 goals. Saskia Douglas-Decker 11 and Sarah Murphy 7. The best player was Danica Gleeson for the Tigers. And now into the Saturday second semi-finals. These are all at West Oval. 15 and under Division 1, they continue their great season. They beat South Barwon 21-17. Gabby Renitz had 15 goals. Taylor Gray had 6. The best players were Brooke Allen, Gabby and Jessie Lang. And in the D grade, they lost, but their finals are still alive. St Mary's beat them 32-21. Amy Carmody had 18 goals and was the Tigers' best player in that one. So that brings us to our favourite part of the show. We've wrapped up the finals. We're going to award this week's COLAC Herald Sportsman of the Week, and I've decided it, Ben, not much discussion here. I'm going to give it to Louis Holmer. He's had a fantastic year in the football. He's won every medal conceivable, and no doubt you can tell us a few words about him.
That's right, he has had a great year. He unfortunately missed out on the league goal kicking award, but I think he only fell short by about 8 goals, so he really did have a dominant season after crossing back from Ocean Grove this year. A very worthy winner. He actually didn't think he was worthy. He thought Rick White was the best player in the grand final, but look, 5 goals in the grand final. He kicked 3 very important goals to get his team back into the lead in the second term. So look, just very well deserved and a great season to Louis.
Fantastic stuff. And that wraps it up here from the grand final edition of the COLAC Herald Sports Smash. Make sure you read your Wednesday and Friday COLAC Heralds. And from Ben and I, see you later.
See ya.